Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing fine and you're all in good health. I'm again in front of you all dealing with the second unit, which is prescribed for all the BTech students, which is of approach JRD, where we are also going to see the other concepts. We already done with the vocabulary part, written part, and a few other things. Reading skills also we completed. So today I came up with the other major concept, and as I have to introduce myself, I am Pranathi, Assistant Professor in English Department from Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. And as you could see, today we are going to deal with the grammar topic. And grammar, I know, but whenever you heard the word grammar, you all are worried about rules and regulations and where you tend to do mistakes. That's what worry people a lot when you think about grammar. But I'll try to make as simple as possible, and I'm not sure that it will be quite simple, but at least the grammatical sense is very necessary when you use the language in any form, either communication or writing purpose or anything. So you need language, and in that language you need to have grammatical sense, but for that grammar, so you have to understand about grammar. So today's topic is about subject verb agreement. So you know the sentence structure. The sentence structure is subject, verb and object. So sometimes we get confused when we use whether the subject is a singular or a plural, sorry, singular or plural. So we tend to do that mistake when we mistook of the subject, and sometimes the subject might not be an actual subject. It might sound like an object in a sentence sometimes. So at that time you will be worrying. So subject and verb agreement usually deals with the alignment of what the main verb have to be in a sentence. So depends upon the subject. Again, I have to talk about the subject, and we have to, if it is verb, we have to focus on the singular verbs or plural verbs. For that also we have to understand what the first person, second person and the third person. Here I had a small table which I've got it from the Google, from the master class and the other Grammarly also. So this is the this image, I think I got it from Grammarly or Byju's. So okay, there is a small image displayed on the screen there where we'll be understanding what first person, second person and third person is. And so as I was saying, subject verb agreement, you have to understand, as I was speaking about the alignment of the subject, verb and an object. That's what a general alignment of a sentence is. So you have to understand what subject is. So subject, if the subject is singular, you have to use a singular verb. And when we talk about verbs, there are be forms, which is am, is, was, were, is, all those be forms. Here you could see in the table here, and you can also see in the first person what have to be used in the first person, say singular and plural, what you have to use. Here the table is giving lot of information where you just take a few seconds understanding it. So in the first person singular, it's I am, and if it is in a past form, you say I was. Okay, that's what the table is. In the first person plural, we are is a present form, whereas past is we use we were. And in second person, the singular or plural, it is second person, so you'll be addressing it to the next one, an opposite one. So you'll be saying you are and you were. So that is the second person. That's about second person, and present and past. So you have to be worried about which singular or a plural form you are using. And of course here where we'll get in the third person, he is present and he was. So same like you have other examples. And in third person plural, they are and they were. So you get confused when the object or the other part of the subject. And here of course it is simple words, but when not only words, no, these are simple words, normal pronouns, but you also have to understand the other nouns which we use in a sentence. So that where you start getting confusing. So that's why we are going to see subject verb agreement. Sometimes we tend to, I'll give you another best example. I know you're all will be dealing with the self introduction sometime, and you say like, my hobbies is to play cricket. Here you have a problem, like I'm already giving an example, like my hobbies is playing cricket. Okay, if this is an example I'm giving here, hobbies. What is this hobbies? Is it a singular subject or a plural subject? It is a plural, and it is a plural. And here you can't have is. Here you will be my hobbies are, and here you mentioned only playing cricket. So you hear a lot of confusion happens, and here this is grammatically incorrect. So we are going to see the other things how you can try to control the mistakes, not only while speaking but also while writing. So it's about how you understand what subject is, whether it is a singular subject. Obviously it is very simple. If it is a singular subject, you will be using singular verb, and if it is a plural subject, you will be using plural verb. That is basic. But when you have you get confused after when you go see about the other pronouns or other nouns, which might be little complicated. So we are going to see a stretch information or with few rules and regulations. Of course, grammar is full of rules, and memorizing them is hard, but understanding might will help you, and it might be easy. Understanding will help you a lot, and we'll go into it, into the main rules of how you use subject and verb agreement. Okay, so the image I hope here is so comfortable for y'all. You understood it. So there are 7 rules. 7 rules with there are 11 rules. I'm sorry, there are 11 rules, and there are 11 examples. As I was already saying, understanding, memorizing with the grammar rules is impossible. So understanding the memorizing the rules is not so easy, but examples, if you have that basic example in your mind, I think you can do better. Okay, so the first rule here we are saying it: singular subjects require singular verb, which is the first and basic when you understand singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject, plural verb. And the examples is also here. So if the subject here, the train is a singular subject, and runs, this is what we are going to focus. Runs, you know what is a V1, V2, V3 according to your, I mean, you call it as V1, V2, V3. I'll be calling as past, present, past and past participle. Okay, that's what we use. But when you understand like V1, V2, V3, so it will be V1, which is runs. Okay, the train runs from Phoenix to El Paso. Next one, next rule. Okay, rule. Okay, next exception or next kind of understanding subject verb agreement is plural subject requires plural rules. Here, these two we never have any problem. So this is very clear. So plural, the trains which often run, the trains doesn't have time. So trains run all. Here run is a simple one, like runs is not a present thing, so you'll be using a past verb. So you can't use ran, because if we are talking about the basic things, so the trains run, a basic verb, normal verb, not V1, but the trains run all night long. It's a statement, so you can't use, it's not an action, it's generally a statement. So if even if it is train, we only use a normal verb, which sounds a plural form sometimes. It depends upon the context, and here you have to make sure that the context is very important. Context is very important. If you are saying about a past experience, then you will use the words appropriately, but here it is a general statement, so you have to understand the context is very important. When you write, represent, when you speak any sentence, then the subject and agreement, we call it as conquered. Subject and verb conquered is also the other word. So subject, verb, subject have to agree with the verb. First person, I mean singular subject, you have to agree with the singular verb. And if the subject is plural, you have the verb should also be plural. That is basic, where we never get any confusion in the first two things. Here, then we are going to see to the third one, which is compound subjects. So compound subjects, which have one or two. Okay, 1 plus 1 you have, and this plus you will be adding with and. Okay, when any two different words added with and, then that will be considered as, when it is considered as okay, compound subjects with the word and require a plural verbs. It's very clearly mentioned here, and the example is also very clearly mentioned. Pizza and cauliflower taste great. As I was saying, the context, it is a general example, so taste great. If you're talking about a past, then you will say like it tasted great together. So this is a basic thing. So the context is very important. So compound subjects which are added with the and will be using we will be using plural verbs. So the example, pizza and cauliflower taste great together. Okay, moving on to the fourth rule, fourth concept where we are going to say again same with the compound subjects, where we'll be adding with or nor. Okay, or nor. It can take either singular or plural according to the context. I've been keep on saying it, repeating it. You have to see the context, whether you're using in a single context. You also have to read the full sentence. You have to understand the sentence. Here in the first sentence, the picture is very clear. We are only talking about two individuals, which is Jeff. Either Jeff or Jane knows the answer. Here there are only two people. And in the second sentence, if you see, if this is the first sentence and this is the second sentence, in the second sentence you could see either Jeff or his sisters know the answer. So here Jeff is singular and his sisters is plural form. So here either in the subject, either any part of the subject should be singular, only then you can use know the answer. So as you know, knows is a present form, a verb form, a singular verb form, and know is a general. As I was saying, a context is very important. So in the first example, either Jeff or Jane is considered as singular subject, but whereas in the second sentence, Jeff and his sisters, here sisters comes a plural, so you should have a plural verb written or spoken. You have to have that conscious when you talk about, when you make a phrase, a sentence. Okay, and this is I think this is the fifth rule, which comes with collective nouns. You know what a collective noun is, like team, company. Here there are many more examples here. The team, a cricket team, you'll be connected. Even sometimes the student is also a student community. In that cases, you have to be very clear with the words. Here the team is a singular. So in a singular context, when the collective nouns are singular, you will be using singular verbs. It's very clearly mentioned. Collective nouns can be singular or plural. So I gave two different examples. Collective nouns like team, company, city, state, government, and committee and store are singular nouns. So you will be using singular verbs. So the team the Indian team plays well in the IPL or something. Just example I'm giving. I'm not good with the cricket and all. So the company is great. The company where I work is great. So you generalize things. It's a collective. Company is all about is great. The company is great. So and so the company is great. Okay, fine. And next you again see the collective nouns which are plural. Team members. So here these members is a plural. Company leaders, here it's a plural. Officials, it's a plural. So when you see the collective nouns with the plural context, you have to use plural verbs. So my team members are so supportive, So this is an example I'm giving. The company, my company is great company. It's a very opening, giving, encouraging, appreciative, or whatever you wanted, like for a career thing. My city, Vijayawada is a great city, or because it's my city. Okay, so just examples I'm giving out. And when it is collective nouns where you have team members, my team members are cringy sometimes. The company leaders are too bossy and dominative. So these are the verbs have to be mentioned very clearly. So I hope you understood with the collective nouns, and you have to see if it is a collective group, fine. And if it is talking about the members in that collective, then you have to use if it is sounding plural, then you have to use plural verbs. Next is about indefinite pronouns. So you know what indefinite pronouns are. Here you could see many examples. So all the indefinite pronouns will be considered as singular subject. So then you have to use, so the rule is very simple as the basic one. Singular subject, then obviously singular noun. So everybody likes ice cream, right? Everybody likes ice cream. Everybody likes everybody likes golgappe or pani puri, something like that. So any indefinite pronouns are considered as single. So because it's there anywhere and low, anywhere, anyone can be anything kada ankuni, you might get confused. So indefinite pronouns are singulars. You have to consider all these words as singulars only. So for singular, you'll be using singular verbs. So as I gave my mention, each everyone in this world are unique. Everyone in this world, here again, I'm sorry, that example might not be where everyone in the world is doing great, or everyone in the world is great, something like that. And maybe sometimes a past kind of tense, if you're using about the context also, you have to worry about the context. Okay, so next one is a pair of singular. So whenever you see pair, it is considered as singular, so go with the singular verb. That's the basic landmark. Whenever you say pair, that old pair of jeans has treated me well. Here the context, you're talking about an old one, so that's why has treated. So jeans has treated, has comes with the singular. Okay, treated me well. Treated, again, you don't worry about this ed, you only have to see about this. Okay, treated me well. The pair is a singular noun and it takes a singular verb. So that old pair of jeans, here, don't worry about this jeans also, but worry about the pair. So whenever you see a word pair with anything, then usually without any doubt you can place a singular verb in a sentence or when you write. Fine. Next is a plural form subject, where they are considered as a singular, as a title. Okay, think robotics. Robotics is the trending course. I'm just giving an example, robotics, because there it is S. It's not like that. Robotics is a trending or a high paid or essential essential engineering course that which gives opportunity and everything. So even if the plural form subject as a title, then you will be using singular verb. Okay, so physics is an essential subject. Robotics is a trending course in the present scenario. So even if it is a plural form of subject, you have to use a singular because it is a title. Okay, so moving on, gerunds are nothing but ing forms. Okay, gerunds are ing forms. So whenever you see gerunds, it considered as often they are usually used as singular nouns, so you have to use singular verbs. So example is very clear. Swimming was the sport that taught me how to win. Okay, swimming, ing, that is called gerunds, was the sport that taught me how to win. Okay, so even when ing forms come, it is considered as singular, so singular subject, so you have to use singular verb. Okay, that's the other basic thing you have. Fine. And whenever you see a phrase one, it is considered as it is considered even the phrase one of a plural noun, who and that requires a singular. So here the example made it clear. Mr. Lee, we are only talking about one person in the whole teachers who coaches sports. So here the coaches will be a one. So you're talking about individual. Even if there is a teachers, don't get confused. Here Mr. Lee is there, and one of the dog of my friends is too playful, something like that. Okay, so whenever you find a phrase with one, whenever you see a word called one, then that is considered as singular, so you will be using singular verb. Even when you get doubt of this teachers and all, you don't get confused. So that is another benchmark you have. So whenever, in the final one, I think, yeah, and the final thing is they is the, you know what, they are like a third person pronoun is can be considered as a singular or plural, depending upon the context. Okay, depending upon the context, they might be singular sometimes. The team members or the choir group, them. Okay, them, they, the choir group is a collective noun. So they are performing poor. So here you will be using another kind when you're talking about a group of members there. And if you consider as students, when you say they are the students, they are wonderful in Mlritm, something like that. Now, okay, so you have to understand the context. Only based on that context, even if it is a third person, you have to understand, read the whole sentence, then you have to understand and you have to get into conclusion whether it's a singular or plural. You have to see for the hint words. Okay, that's about subject verb agreement. So again, I'm going to give a small recap. It's about how you understand a subject with the verb and object in a sentence. And if a general rule is, when you use a singular subject, you'll be having singular verb. When you use plural subject, you'll be using plural verbs. Compound words, when they are added with and, are considered as plural, so you have to use plural verbs. Next, compound words, when you consider when the word is the compound word subjects, when they are added with or nor, you have to understand the context. You have to see the hint words there. Again, I'm mentioning context, you will be seeing it. Okay, next is collective nouns. When the collective nouns, if they are talking about only the group, it's not something apart from group, or not few members in a group. If it is giving about a group completely, then it is considered as singular. So the words you use will be singular, verbs you use to be singular. You have to be using singular now. And when the collective nouns, when you're talking few members from the group or few leaders, something, then if you take those people out of that collective team, group or something, then you have to use as plural. Then it will be considered as plural and you'll be using plural verbs. Next, indefinite, everything, whatever the indefinite pronouns you have, they are considered as singular, so you have to use singular verbs. And whenever you see pair, obviously pair means two, but you'll be considering as singular, so you have to use singular verb. And when the plural form is subjected as a title, robotics, physics, like thing, then it will be considered as singular, so you'll be using singular verb form. Next are gerunds, which is ing form. When the any ing form will be considered as singular, so you have to use singular verbs. And phrase, when you have in a phrase, if you have one, even if it is of a plural, still you will be considering it as a singular verb. And in third person, in the last rule, you have to understand the context in the sentence. You have to see the hint word, see the sentence completely, and if you have a singular context, you will be using singular verb, and if you are getting a plural context, you will be using plural verb. Okay, that's about subject verb agreement. See you after a while with another topic. And for today, I gathered all this information from English Language Context and Culture, which is published by Orient Black Swan by Hyderabad, which is a prescribed book for all the BTech students, and the basic English grammar, which everyone who ever have a problem with the grammar or language, any English form, will be referring to Ron & Martin, which is a high school English grammar and composition, and Wikipedia, which is everyone's friend, and of course Masterclass is the other website where I got the details more specific, so that I could explain you all more in detail. And also only a picture which I grabbed from Grammarly or Byju's, I'm not sure, but so I hope you all understood the class. Thank you.